Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all had your breakfast, tea, coffees. Everybody's looking pretty fresh and excited also. I'm coming after morning, woke up at 2 o'clock. Suddenly saw that I have to go to Mumbai and particularly joining the delegation with Sarthak. And Sarthak has been one of my buddies from the start where I started my journey in diversity and inclusiveness, right? So I just couldn't miss this opportunity to be there. So as I say, it's 16 years and I started with them, I think with Mr. Agarwal. Dr. Sahab hai yahan pe? Baithe hue hain?
हाँ डॉक्टर साहब अभी थे यहाँ पे
Acha.
आप
So I started around 10 years back when Sarthak was just a 6 years old company. And there I was in a different organization with Vishal Megamart before, and where we started the diversity and inclusiveness, and we named the program also. We always believe that until and unless we do not call PwDs, right? We have a program name, we have dedicated, like the government calls them Divyangan, okay? We call them Udbhav, the rising, right? So that was the dream of getting up to a level where we wanted to build up a population of more than 10% of our frontline associates. And by the end of the term with Vishal Megamart, I think with the help of various organizations like majorly Sarthak, then Youth for Jobs, Dr. Reddy Laboratories, a few of them just coming to my mind, we built around 1,500 people. I'm not as good as Priyanka, where I can see 20,000 people is wow. That is something I can just say. Now, let me tell you, currently I represented a company called V-MART Limited, Retail Limited. We are a fashionable value retail organization in the country with more than 450 stores, located in Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4 cities, diverse across 26 states, 350 cities, and we are one of the best value retail fashion world. I hope I'm looking fashionable, right? So thank you for that. Okay, so I would say the biggest journey in terms of diversity and inclusiveness starts with the mindset, Samir. You know, organizations believe that they want to do this, right? Unfortunately, they just when it comes to the implementation stage, right? There they believe that this is a CSR activity. Let's look at in that manner, and we will participate in that CSR activity, and we'll do that. But for us, we from the scratch decided that this is not a CSR activity for me, right? It's not a charity, it's not a CSR activity. It's a purely business model for me. Simple as that, that this was a business model where we launched something like, we called our program as Vihan, the dawn of, and I don't say disability, we call it diversibility. And that is how we look at it, right? So we feel that they have tremendous, the Divyangans have tremendous diversibility talent which comes across us. And when we decided to go into the program, our major goal was very clear in our mind, right? That this is not a CSR. We're going to look at it as a business model. And business model was, you know, totally targeted towards a major concern of ours. And that concern was a high attrition among my frontline staff, which is more than 50%, let me tell you, in the country, right? Whereas, in terms of my diversibility candidates who are my Vihan candidates, who come into my organization, their stay with the organization is more than 80% retention, right? The stickiness to the organization is such that it really solved our problem in terms of, you know, retaining people in our frontline stuff. So we made it a business model very quickly. In 2022 mid, we started this program full-fledgedly in V-MART Limited. As I said, a lot of mindset had to be changed, and that mindset comes from the top management. So any of the organizations who is sitting out here first has to look into the things that, you know, mindset, you know, change has to be driven from the top. until unless your top management believes in it and believes in it very passionately, I would say, right? Otherwise, this kind of programs doesn't work well, okay? This may start well, and slowly and steadily, it just fades away. So, in our point of view, when we started out, we not only built it as a business model, but we saw it as a platform that we will deliver week by week, month by month, year by year, a hiring practice in the organization where we'll have 10% of our population, of working frontline population, right, as Divyangans. And we made it very clear that we are very clear in our roles that what we wanted to have. So 90% of our sales associate that we pick up from the Vihan, program, they are SHI, right? So speech and hearing impairment, and they work beautifully for us, right? The kind of customer services they provide at the stores, the dedication, the sincerity, the passion they work out in the stores, that is where. So if I just say about the numbers, it's not too much to boast about at this present stage, I would say. So yes, we started out meagerly at 50 people, in 2022 mid. By 2023, maybe another 50 people added up. So we were at 100 and we were thinking, what would we do? With this kind of drive, we cannot have this 10% of my population. So we completely put a zonal teams across. So we have zonal HRs across. And we made them spokes and they built more champions within the operations team. So we called them the Bihan champions, right, across. And then we started having a weekly review of every hiring every week, right? So there was a complete focus on building up, our channel of NGOs, organizations like Sarthak, Youth for Jobs, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories. We connected with all of them. And this year, I think by the first quarter, from that 100, we have traveled to a number of 350, which is more than 100% growth for us, right? So that is how I can say that, our inclusive hiring policy is really working well. However, as a challenge, I would say is that what I want to do, I want to hire more than 1,000 people this year, right? Unfortunately, what I see here is my sourcing funnel is very low at this present moment. So if there are NGOs out here in this room and people who are into this, deployment of the Divyangan, please come across. My team is also sitting with me, Mr. Ishu Kumar. If you can just raise your hand. Yeah. Ishu heads my talent management and talent acquisition, and he's part of the, Vihan project, right? So please connect with him. Major problem, Samir, what comes to us is that we are deep-rooted into Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4 cities, okay? So that is where my problem of sourcing happens, So there are not enough NGOs, not enough people who come up to me, and actually I would ask Priyanka to help me. How did you, get 5,000 people in Northeast? I have more than 20, 25 stores coming in Northeast, and I would love to have, 100 odd people from there. So we'll slowly build it, जैसे कहते हैं बूंद से बूंद मिला के करेंगे. लेकिन that is what my top management believes, right? That I want to, chase a 1,000 number. I won't talk about training and development. I won't talk about the position. I want numbers first. Let me be the biggest PwD organization in this country, and then I will talk about others. Thank you, guys.
Add here, thank you, because there are so many opportunities, because there are candidates over, all over Pan India. The main thing is that the right candidate we have to search. We have to, find out where they are, available. So that is the main thing which we have to focus on.
Priyanka, what we have is, our problem is the bandwidth,
Yeah.
right? So we are spread very strongly across. So when you're talking about, we are small cities, towns where we are into, and there is the problem that we cannot connect with the right kind of NGOs or the right kind of, even in the government agencies are not helping out much, where we can have a continuous flow of people coming us for hiring. Right, so there would be some attrition, which would definitely happen, and we would love to cover that attrition across. So we need a steady flow of manpower in various cities and various pockets of the country, and that is where I think more than 4-5 NGOs that broader NGOs that I'm working with. I think I would like to have local, zonal, even to Jila Parishad level, agencies who can come up and take up this cause with us, right? And provide us the employment. And there is no problem with technicality. Retail is not a rocket science. It's a very simple trade, right? You just have to be knowing how to do fashion, and we'll teach you fashion, how to sell fashion. That's not a problem. The only thing is that you need to have that passion. You need to be, be